So this is my first video. So exciting, but so nervous. Today I am driving for Postmates, and I'm not gonna lie, it's been so slow. I have not enjoyed this day so far. I started around 12:30, and then it was like a 30-minute drive to get to a very busy rural type area. So I had one that was kind of more of downtown, and then that was on my way to another location. So, and it was close by my house, so I just swung home afterwards and had some lunch and then was on my way again. But it has been so slow. I've gotten 2 so far today. One was for Henry Hudson's, and it was a lady ordered 3 salads, I'm guessing for her and some friends. And then the second one was for Walmart. They do the online grocery pickup, so I did that. And it was a little old lady. I think she had somebody, a health provider person, there to help her. So that lady grabbed all the things, and she was getting things for Easter, some Easter baskets and things like that. So after that, I just came back to the really popular area, and I've been sitting and waiting. So while I'm sitting and waiting, earlier, before, when it was still slow, I went by Ulta, got some things that I wanted, didn't necessarily need, but it's what I wanted. And so while I'm waiting, I figured I would, this would be perfect timing to kind of give you my tips and then also my opinions on it. So at this point, I have been doing Postmates for several months. Some days are good, some days are bad. So you just can't give up is the thing, and still just work hard at it and keep at it. It will pay out. So someday, yeah, this has not been the first day that it's gotten kind of bad to where I haven't gotten hardly any orders, but sometimes I'll move around and go to different cities, and that seems to kind of help, which is probably what I'm gonna have to do today, but I just don't feel like driving more than what I have to save some gas. So that is tip number 1. If you don't have to drive, don't drive, just park and save your gas. That is very crucial. It'll definitely help you out. Another thing, don't speed. I've not gotten pulled over yet, but I was close. Thankfully, I was lucky. There's a dude over here watching me. He's probably like, why is she talking to herself? So, and just take your time, and don't get discouraged, because there are going to be those occasional days where it's going to be so slow and you're going to be waiting. There's some one time I waited for an hour and a half, maybe, just waited for an order. It happened again one day, and then I was already irritated that day, so I just logged off and I went home, spent time with my husband. And some days are good, some days are bad. That's what sucks. But I remember a couple weeks ago, I had worked quite a bit, and I made over $400 in just 1 week, which is good, because this is now my full-time job. So I wanted something that would be able to suffice. You know, my husband does work, and he has a really great job, and I just wanted to bring in that extra income. So that's why I do it. And then I don't like having a supervisor. I don't like working for those huge companies. It just, I don't know. I guess I'm kind of a brat. So this way I can make my own hours and I can have my own time with my family, and I love it. It's great. It's very, very flexible. It can be very rewarding. It really can. So another tip I have while you're driving, before you leave your house, pack a lunch, pack your snacks, anything that you need, like drinks or something. If you already have it at home, take it, because you do not want to go to these restaurants and buy all this food that you're already delivering for and spend the money that you're trying to make, because I've done that and I was kicking myself for it. So don't eat out. It's not worth it. Another tip is to make sure you're fueled up before you leave, because I've got it to where I'd have to, in between deliveries, even though it was kind of slow, but still in between deliveries, I would have to go fill up, and kind of wish that I didn't do that. So make sure to do that to save you some time, and then maybe go to the bathroom when you're there. I don't necessarily like going to the bathroom at like 7-Eleven or anything, because I don't like it. So I'd go to like restaurants if need be, because they're cleaner most of the time. Let's see, another tip. Wear comfortable shoes, because you're going to be walking a lot. When you are driving, sometimes if you have been driving that day for say 8 hours and you haven't hit, say if you have a goal and you haven't hit that yet, if you know you're going to be driving for quite a while that day, be sure to take a pillow or something to put on your chair, on your seat, to cushion your butt, because your butt will go numb unfortunately, and it kind of is a pain in the butt, literally. Another tip, take coffee. Coffee and caffeine is going to be your friend. And another thing I really, really like about it is I can say, if I need to go out and, get medicine, or go pick up something for the kids, or go get something for my husband, or maybe even meet him for lunch. It's that flexible that I can do that now. Before, I was working 10 to 7, and it was typically Monday through Friday and the occasional Saturday from 7:30 to 1 o'clock. I never got to see my family most of the time. Couldn't really go to family functions because sometimes they were during the week, and towards the end of me working there, we couldn't take any time off. So it got really hard, which that was not the only reason. Some of it was my health. My health issues, they weren't great. And I think some of it stemmed down to stress. I had a lot of stressors and I didn't know how to cope with them. And due to the stress at work, I was taking it home, and I just couldn't take it anymore. And I didn't like the fact that what I was doing to my husband, and not really getting to see the kids, and it became all too much. So talked it over with my husband, and he agreed that maybe delivering for Postmates full time would be the best decision. And you will see on YouTube, there's a lot of people that will sit there and say, don't do it full time, it's not worth it, only do it as an extra income. If you have that extra income, say a spouse or coming from somewhere else, I don't see why you can't do this full time. Yeah, it's not consistent, but with him having such a great job that he does, this is like kind of an added income to where I can maybe make my own car payment, supply the groceries throughout the month, just coming from my checks. Other than that, everything comes out of his. So, or extra money to go out on date nights or do things for the kids or go have fun activities. That's where mine would come in handy. So I love it. I don't think I'll ever want to do a regular 9-to-5 job. It's not for me. So this one's flexible. I can take breaks whenever I want. I can have special times with my husband and kids whenever I want. And I can make as much or as little as I want. It's all up to me. So, with that being said, do I suggest it? Yes, I do. Are there downfalls? Yes, there is. Such as, you will have that wear and tear on your vehicle. I take very, very good care of my vehicle. I do it myself. I will go and get my own oil changed. I will check all my fluids, check my tires. If I need new tires, I'll get that done myself. I don't really like to rely on my husband because he has so much going on with work himself. So I try and take care of that myself. Now, gas can kind of suck, but that's why I say park. Save your gas. And then every time I get gas, I save my receipts. And I also track my mileage on an app. It's, I think, called Stride Tax. So that way at the end of the year I can claim that on my taxes. Another tip. If you are going to be making a lot of money doing this, actually I should just say in general, you will get a 1099 and at the end of the year. So make sure you save all your receipts. Anything that you can deduct from it, then do it. But I would take out maybe 10% of what you make, if not maybe just a little bit more. Put it back in a savings account. It will help in the long run. If you have any questions, feel free to comment at the bottom. Have a nice day.